good, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. Hey, everybody. I am smiling ear to ear right now because the last time I had this guest on the podcast was in January of 2021, and every time I get to talk to this guy, holy shit, the energy, the fun, the excitement. I mean, this is literally one of the most fun times I've ever had in a podcast, and this band has gone so far from where they were in January 2021 till now, and it's just going to keep going and going and going with the tours they've been on, with the tours they're going on, with a brand new album out on November 4th. Man, what do you guys say this? But Avoid kicks ass, my friend. Before we get jumping into it, though, I want to thank support for this podcast. First off, it's Manscaped. Yes, Manscaped is supporting the podcast. They are the best in below the belt care for you guys out there. So let me tell you about this one thing, guys. You know, think about lawn mowing, you know, every guy wants to have the best lawn in the neighborhood, right? You know, you want to beat Tony down the street who's always got that riding mower. Grr, must be compensating for something, am I right? Okay, that was kind of weird. But you always want to make sure you have the best looking lawn possible, right? So what about the lawn that you got down there? Yeah, you want to make sure it's the best kept lawn out there. And what better way to keep the lawn than with a lawnmower? How about the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped? Take a look at that. It is the ultimate shaving tool for you guys down there to basically get you the best cut, best shave down there possible, best looking lawn down there possible, and have it be the smoothest shave you ever had. So what this thing has is, well, say I drop it in water, boom, it's waterproof. Don't got to worry about any sort of shorts right there. I turn it on, say I'm trying to look at what I'm doing. Boom, take a look at that. 4K LED light. What about, you know, one of the biggest problems for shaving down there, you get those like nick cuts where you're like shaving, you're like, ting tang, blah, blah, bing bang. Yeah, you don't want to go with any of that. So they have advanced skin safe technology. The blade here is actually kind of like ceramic to make sure you prevent those nick cuts. Oh yeah, you're not going to want to miss out on that. So the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. You want to have the best lawn out there? Also want to have the best lawn down there. And Manscaped's helping you out by giving you 20% off and free shipping from your entire order from manscaped.com by using the code CPP at checkout. So go do that after this podcast. Also want to thank the When We Were Hungry Festival because we are sponsoring that festival in Las Vegas, October 20th, 21st of 2022. You want those Warped Tour vibes, memes into dreams? Yep, that's what the When We Were Hungry is all about. We have had plenty bands from the festival that have been on the podcast, including Modern Day Escape. Well, Will created the festival. He created the meme. He's a Modern Day Escape. So you know Modern Day Escape is playing, and Modern Day Escape is hysterical. We also have Outlier, Varsity, Palisades, Saving Vice, Along Came a Spider, The Medic Droid, the original line for a Skylit Drive, Tickle Me Pink, who's headlining day 2. Have they been on the podcast? Yes, it's Secondhand Serenade. Well, guess who's also headlining day 1? Black Flag. So this is a festival you can be able to throw down in the pit, cry, and sing your emo heart out, jam out to, have a good time. This is Warped Tour vibes right here. You're not going to want to miss out on it. So go get your tickets, whenwewerehungryfestival.com. Link description of the podcast for you guys. Tickets are on sale. Make sure you get them before they sell out. I'll see you guys there. Pancakes the Pit, memes into dreams. Don't want to miss out. Now time for a feature presentation. Benny from Avoid is on the podcast today. And Benny is one of the best people ever have on a podcast. Best people even know. This guy is hysterical, funny, energetic. I mean, you listen to Avoid, listen to the music or watch them play live. The energy is completely there. And we talk about a lot of different things in this podcast, including the whole entire National Anthem saga from 2021, Thriller Records, and how that all ties into, which is even more nuts. The Fit for a King tour they went on earlier in 2022 with Silent Planet, Hollow Front, Fit for a King, of course. All this stuff and crazy stories from around there. The crazy stories from, you know, the cancellation from the Northlane tour to what they were able to do off of it. Preparing for their tour with Silent Planet and the Palladium, going out, supporting Bad Omens for a couple of shows. And, of course, their brand new Cult Mentality coming out November 4th. And the lead single, Whatever, or not, that's like, not the lead single, but it's like the first single that came out with the album announcement. We'll put it that way. And you're not going to want to miss out on Avoid. You're not going to miss out on this episode. It's hysterical. It is so just fun to listen to this thing. I kept looking over at the monitor. I'm like, we've only been on for 35 minutes and it feels like it's a long time, but I don't want this to end. Like, there's so much content here, you're not going to want to miss out on it, and it's so much fun. This one's going to have you smiling ear to fucking ear. Avoid kicks ass. Are you ready? Let's kick some ass. Let's go! Yeah! Well, ladies and boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. This man was on the podcast back in January of 2021. He is back once again a year and a half later, and my God, watching the meteoric rise of this band from where I saw him in 2021 to tours with Fit for a King, Silent Planet, Hollow Front. They were supposed to go on tour with Northlane, but now they're going to be going out with Bad Omens as well, and then the Palladium and Silent Planet once again, plus an appearance on the fucking Jim Rome show, and a brand new album called Cult Mentality coming out November 4th. My God, you do not want to miss out on this band, so fuck it, let's get into it. I was watching Dale Earnhardt interviews and listening to whatever this new song by this band leading up to this, so I'm fucking pumped. So please welcome back Benny from Avoid. So Benny, welcome back, my friend.
What's going on, man? What's going on, guys? I'm so stoked to be back, bro. It's good to see you again.
Dude, it is good to see you too, especially, after everything that's happened over the course of the year. I did get a chance to see you guys on that tour with Fit for a King, and I have talked with the other guys that have been on the tour, specifically Garrett from Silent Planet and Tyler from Hollow Front, and they're just like, every time I bring up Avoid in the podcast, everyone's just like, my God, I don't know how anyone can hang with those guys' energy, but it is so much fucking fun, and like everyone wants to be like, every time I talk to someone about Avoid, they're just like, my God, we want to tour with that band somehow, some way.
That's really cool, man. It's really cool to hear that. It's been insane, and we really we were hoping that it would happen, so I'm not going to give you we just didn't expect it. Like, obviously, that was what we were trying to do, but we didn't expect it to happen the way it did, as quick as it did, and some of the it's just been really, really, really cool, and we're really grateful that it is starting to get a little bit of traction in certain places, and we get to do these bigger tours now and have these bigger outlets, like sharing our stuff. Like, it was even cool for me, and I mean, this isn't like the biggest outlet in the world, but Brooklyn Vegan was shared one of our songs a while ago, and that's like a article for like a publication for me that I really look up to, and it's like, because I feel like they only like post about like cool shit and like niche shit. Like they don't like just post stuff to post stuff. It's like they do their shit, and so it was like cool to see them interested in the band. I mean, in general, Octane and NASCAR, and what a wild ride it's been.
Oh God, yeah, because like you said, Octane, NASCAR, Brooklyn Vegan, just seeing so many people pick up on the band and just get into it, and a lot of it is just based off of you guys just being yourselves, honestly, and the music absolutely kicking fucking ass. I mean, hell, your handles are always Avoid kicks ass, and it just makes sense. Like, I even put out a tweet at one point, I'm like, list of bands that kick ass, Avoid kicks ass. Like, they're the only one that has it in their handle, so that's the end of the list, guys. I'm sorry.
I saw people like that tweet too. It was fucking hilarious.
I gotta keep making tweets like that, man. Get on that Twitter presence like you guys got, and just anything you guys got in the social media game presence, because my God, it's just like anytime I like see some of your stuff pop up, I'm just like, I know that it's gonna be enjoyable. I know I'm probably gonna laugh at it, and then just roll with it from there. It's always a good day when Avoid pops up. We'll put it that way.
Man, I appreciate that. I hope that really, especially with social media, I hope that we can be like that glimpse of your day where it's like good and it makes you smile or it makes you laugh, or it's like I don't want stress and bullshit coming from our camp to your lives. Like, I'm sure life is bringing most people lots of that shit anyway. I don't want you to get it from us. We want to be the safe haven. You know what I mean?
Oh, I absolutely know what you mean. Because I had a conversation with someone else I had on the podcast, one of my friends, Joey Arena from the band Outlier, and we were talking about rock and metal music and how much more focus it is on image rather than attitude like it was back in the day. And all of a sudden I look at you guys, I'm like, your attitude and your energy and your persona is like your image. So it all mixes in. So of course, whenever I see anything pop up on social media, hell, right, like in March of 2021, when I saw the whole entire Jim Rome thing go down, I fucking lost it. Because I'm like, you get like literally, you took like something that could have been, kind of a negative and turned into the utmost positive by having Jim Rome love your fucking music.
It was this close. We could have turned it either way. The scales were fucking going back and forth. And I mean, I really had no idea what was going to happen, but the fact that we were able to turn that into what it was, and even it started with him just trying to rip on it. And now it's like, it's still chill, and like he'll still like pop us a like every once in a while, and then he ended up leaving the show, but his producer Adam Hawk, like I still talk to that guy like all the time. Yeah, like that ended up being a huge thing for the band. We still have a bunch of Jim Rome fans like coming into the band, like it's insane. Like what a wild thing that happened. And Jim is cool, man. Like that was really cool of him to not just like continue to just like rip. It's like we leaned into it, we had fun with it. And then the fact that he actually checked out the band, ended up liking it, and to his platform was like, hey, not only do I not hate this band, like check them out and fucking support them. And having that flip happen and having like the fan base like also flip and be like, no, we like this band now. Like that was really cool. And I was really happy about that.
I think the biggest reason why that happened, though, was especially right after the first, iteration from that segment where Jim Rome was just ripping the band, calling it, instead of avoid, call it delete. Like, the way that you guys responded to it was really what kind of probably brought him in. It's like, okay, these guys are responding, they're having fun with it. And he probably connected with it in some sort of way. He's like, these guys just are having fun with this now. Now you're drawn into actually listening to the music. And then all of a sudden he comes out the next segment is, I can't call it avoid or to say it's delete anymore. It's like, it should be called embrace because I fucking loved it.
Like, I was like, what? Well, for me, it was just like, yo, what is happening right now? Like that was like I truly did not expect the national anthem thing to get as big as it did, and for it to like essentially just blow up overnight. And then we got talked about. I mean, obviously Jim Rome being the biggest, that is the highest paid sports radio guy in the fucking, at least in the US, like insane. And like we didn't expect that to happen. Like I thought it was just going to be, I was going to show up, do the national anthem. It was going to do literally, I was hoping it would not be remembered, but I mean, now it's like we turned it for what it is. And so it, but like my only goal for that national anthem was for it to be forgettable. I was like, let's go down, do the thing, go enjoy the box seats for the weekend at NASCAR and hang out. And like, it'll be a fun story to talk about later. Little did I know. Little did I know what was going to happen that next week. But I mean, because it ended up getting, like, aside from Jim Rome, it was on like almost every major city's sports radio show. Like it was everywhere there for a second. And it was just like, what the fuck, man? And then the fact that it was able to turn so quickly into like, nah, it's funny and who gives a shit. And it ended up being so positive for the band. Like, yeah, that was really cool. And it was cool that it ended up getting to work out that way. And it was fucking hilarious.
I mean, it totally was, just because, especially after it happened too, after the national anthem, because I started looking on Twitter too, just to kind of see what was going on. And I saw NASCAR Twitter just like roasting the hell out of you, roasting the hell out of the band. And then just the absolute, just you guys just responding to like all these different things, but with the most lighthearted, we're just going to have fun with this style. So that when the whole entire Jim Rome thing happened, and then you fucking called into the show, and all of a sudden now,
what are we going to do? Right? Like, it's like, are we going to like actually be upset about it and be like, fuck you guys? Or are we like we have the biggest, like it's the biggest platform ever talking about us. Like we never had platforms that big talking about our band. In my eyes, there was only one option, like capitalize. Like this, the attention, the eyes are on. Like the eyes are on. We have to do something about it. And if we like act like little bitches about it, people aren't gonna like that. People are just gonna keep making fun of us. Where if we also make fun of it and just lean into it and be like, yo, man, it wasn't that good. And you know what? It's kind of funny that we even did it in the first place, and check out our fucking record. And this is what we actually do. It's like, I'm not going to sit there and be sad about it. I mean, it was definitely tough on the old brain for a minute, but like, yeah, like to me, that's the only option in a moment like that. And like with controversy bleeds success, or there's a saying in there, but you can get a lot of eyes and a lot of fans from controversy, as long as it's like nothing like too bad, but like a little bit of sharks in the water didn't hurt nobody, as long as you don't get bit. So it's kind of fun to ruffle some feathers, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Because taking a look at a lot of the other bands that have happened, in the like in history, like a lot of bands that have ruffled feathers or had some of that controversy around them. a lot of them, it's, you know, they stand out to because they're the ones that took it and ran with it. I mean, you watch the whole entire fucking Motley Crue movie that they made in 2019, even though it's just, you know, it's not the best adaptation, but you get to see all the crazy shit that they did and how they became one of the biggest bands of the 80s. Take a look at all the crazy shit that Ozzy did and all the controversy surrounding there with biting the head off a goddamn bat. And now it's just like, holy shit, that is the thing of legend right now. It's like you guys took it with that mentality, ran with it, you know, took it more of a lighthearted kind of approach from the criticism that you were coming in, and all of a sudden people were starting to embrace you guys even more because it's like, oh shit, they can have fun with us too.
Dude, yeah, and it was just like, it was really cool to see how once the biggest of the big started being like, I mean, hold on, give them a chance. It was cool to see how open-minded everyone else became about the situation. And then it was like, it was cool. Like, all we ever wanted to be was just be our authentic selves and rock. Like, that's what it's about for us. And we love playing with each other. I mean, we're just a band of best friends. Started a band in a basement, and it's insane that now we're doing like full US tours and we're starting to get European offers and stuff like that. And it's like, it's crazy to see the band starting to rise. And it was just something that literally started as an idea in a basement when I was like 14, and now I'm 24, 10 years later. And it's like, it is what it is. And I'm like, wow, that's really, really, really cool. And I'm really grateful that got to happen and that we're on this ride. And so with everything, like the Jim Rome thing, NASCAR, however we're able to spin it, I'm like, let's party.
Oh, absolutely. Because then you see what happened like throughout the rest of the year. All of a sudden, like you guys, all Thriller Records came over, and all of a sudden you guys were their first sign. I remember seeing that. I'm like, okay, if Thriller Records is going to
what's hilarious about that and the National Anthem thing. So the owner of Thriller Records, Bob Becker, the guy that founded Fearless in the 90s, was literally the alternative record label there for a sec. Like that. So we had signed before the National Anthem. It just wasn't public yet. We signed in, I honestly think we signed right around the time I talked to you the first time. We signed in January of 21. And so we did that. And then our first time meeting Bob, because he's an LA guy, we were like, yo, come to Vegas for this. So he was there. Oh my God. The label was that was our first time meeting our label, and they were at the National Anthem thing. I'm like meeting this legend in the industry, and that's the introduction. How insane, right? And then it goes viral. It's like, oh no, dude.
Oh my God. Okay, now that makes that story, the fact that it adds so much more to the to that National story. So so much more to like
what was going on in our heads, right? Because we're literally, and our managers were there. Like a bunch of people flew out for this shit. Like it was like a thing internally, and it was like a great networking thing. And yeah, how funny is it that was our first time meeting Bob was that at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Now it makes so much more sense. And you said, like, you know, right after your head was like, oh, dear God, what are we going to do here? And then, you know, a couple days later, it was just the massive turnaround from just that to all of a sudden. I mean, the vindication was literally on my end was seeing Jim Rome talk positive about the band. And, like, not only when he said, like, check out the band, but he, like, referenced Hostage at a Beach House Party. And I remember thinking, if there was any song for Jim Rome to reference to the general public to get them into the band, that would be the one that he should pick. And he did. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, this is going to be something. And then by the time you appear on the podcast, the next thing you know, my God, I mean, like Thriller Records had to be looking at that. Like they took that and turned it into the biggest absolute positive you possibly could. We made the absolute right choice in signing that band.
I mean, I think I would hope they feel that way. And I think I love Thriller. Like, I'm so grateful to be on Thriller. It is such a great label experience for us. And I mean, I really don't have anything bad to say about them. Like, they're so supportive. They let us do whatever the fuck we want to do. Any crazy idea we have, they kind of just let us like roll with it. And even if it's like Like we're learning a lot from Thriller. Or if it's like an idea where we're like, we want to release a song this way, and they're like, hey, you should check it out this way. And they're like, no, we really want to do it this way. We're like, bet, do it that way, and we'll fucking figure it out. And they're like so down to just let us be crazy. Like, it's so cool. And within that, I think we've learned a lot too, because I mean, we have an amazing opportunity working with these legendary people that have just 30 plus years of experience in this industry and can really have broken bands and can kind of tell us what. And I mean, every band's story is different. So just because you broke one band does not mean you're going to break another band. And just because one band did one, it doesn't. Everyone's path is going to be different. But it is nice having their wisdom and their knowledge of the industry along the way in situations like that. So as things start to come up, they can help us navigate, because it's like, as your band starts to do this, you get into situations, and instead of being like, what do we do? They can be like, I've experienced this before. This is how you do it. This is how you put your head on straight. I mean, it's great, really great to have that guidance. And so I'm so appreciative of Thriller. And how funny is it that was the beginning of it all? But yeah, that was really wild, man.
Oh, that is nuts. But it actually makes a lot of sense for what Thriller is doing with you guys when it comes to how you guys want to operate and how you guys want to do things, how you guys want to release things, to let you guys just basically run with it, and they'll figure it out from the back end. Just because when it comes down to you guys, I mean, the biggest draw is going to be your style of music, but also the energy and the fun that you bring to absolutely everything. I mean, the amount of times I've watched the video for whatever and have picked up on so many little subtle nuances and just end up laughing at everything. I'm like, these guys are just being themselves.
There's a lot in there. A lot. I feel like, I mean, there's a lot of real, like there's the big ones, and then there's a lot of little shit that we snuck in there if you want to be a detective.
No, I've watched that thing like probably 15 or 16 times, and it's like every single time, like I'm starting to pick out like, wait a minute, what? Jesus Christ! Like, how did I miss this? Like the first like 14 times? God damn!
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm really stoked, and it's cool, and it's really cool. Like the record we have and everything that's about to be coming out. I'm really proud of it, and I think it's a really awesome representation of like what the future of this band is and what we're capable of. And I'm really stoked to like share that, you know?
Dude, I've been excited for this record since April, since I got to talk to Tyler from Hollow Front, because he's like, on that tour, he's like, he got a chance to hear the record. He's like, this record fucking bangs. I'm just like, well, god damn it, now you're gonna make me wait for this thing? Like, come on, Tyler, why do you gotta do this to me, man? Like, no, I want this thing now.
Yeah, dude, those are good dudes, man. We had the Fit tour, talk about a great fucking tour, man. Like, what an awesome experience that was for us. Like, we'd never done a tour like that on that scale. Like, we've done a couple nationals and done some really amazing stuff, but never that. And that was really cool to get to do 30 fucking shows of just banger every night, packed shows, really receptive fan base to the band. And then the tour was just full of great people. Like, I feel like we were able to get along with everyone, and it was just a giant party the whole time. And that was what was so fun. And whether it was like actually partying, or it was just like, we get like a big video game group going in the green room and we play Can Jam in the parking lot, or we're just out back smoking a joint with someone and talking shit. And just, it was just such a, like, so it was like the best, like, preteen summer camp vibes. Like, no matters in the world, summer's here, we're away from our parents, we're just having a good time. Like, that was really like what the vibe was. It was so like innocently fun and stupid and goofy, and just like, we had Spirit Week. Like, we ended up doing a Spirit Week at the end of tour where we had joked about it at the beginning of tour, and then I sent a graphic like the last like 4 days of tour, and I was like, it's Spirit Week, bitches. Here, day one is I forget exactly, but I was like, day one was sports day, because I've seen everyone wear various sports things, so that was like an easy one to be. And then there was a dress like John day, who is Fit for a King's guitar tech, and he wears these really short shorts and black t-shirts and trucker hats every day. So everyone went to Walmart and bought short shorts, black t-shirts, and trucker hats, and showed up to the venue like that. And no one told John that we were doing this. And Fit for a King's obviously always there first. And so Fit for a King, they didn't put their outfits on at the start of the day because they let us do it first. So all one by one, the band starts showing up like kind of dressed like John. So eventually you had like fucking 20 people in this venue. And it's just like, at this point, it's just a joke for us. And like the venue staff are like, why does everyone look exactly the same? Is this like some weird cult? Like everyone looked, it was so fucking funny. And so we did that. And then and it got to the point by the end of the tour, everyone was just like bombing our set every night, which was so funny. During Hostage, and we would just like let whoever wanted to play, like giving everyone from every band our instruments, merch people, whoever it was, like anyone could play that part of the song. And like on that day, like because John's the tech, everyone starts rushing out onto the stage from the tour package with like various tools and starts like pretending to fix our gear and like tuning our guitars and like during our set. And oh man, what a great memory. And then I think the next day was sports day and everyone put on various sports gear. And that was just, we were in, I believe, Houston, and it was like an indoor outdoor venue, and the outdoor venue is like massive, but there was no show that night. And so they gave us like the amphitheater area to play Can Jam. And so we wrote out like this massive Can Jam tournament for everyone on the tour package to compete in. And everyone had their sports gear on. So it was like fun, and we were all just like super playing into it. And then during our set that night, everyone bombed the set during Hostage again, and this time everyone, there was skateboards, a football, baseball, Can Jam on the set. Like everyone just started playing sports on stage during our set.
Oh my god.
Oh man. And what was the other day? There was Dress Like Brian Day, who was the TM. That was really funny, and he's straight edge, and so everyone went and bought black hats from Walmart and duct taped like white X's on their hats because he wears a straight edge hat every day. So then but someone fucking told him about it. And so he knew. So it made it a little bit less funny. So I was kind of pissed about that. However, it was still really fucking funny. So, oh man, yeah, we had a really, really good time on that. Oh, there was Bucky's Day.
I was about to ask about Bucky's Day because that thing became the stuff of legend between everyone I've talked to.
Yeah, Bucky's Day was that was the day that everyone competed because everyone loves Bucky. So yeah, everyone it's like a clothing store in there. You can get so much shit. So a lot of people had similar shirts, but you had everyone decked out in different Bucky stuff. And there's a Bucky's Day photo. I could even send it to you if you wanted to put it up on the podcast. But like it's everyone is like, we section people off by like what Bucky's attire they were wearing. So it's like everyone that was in this shirt grouped up, this shirt grouped up. It was so dumb and so innocent and so fun. And yeah, man, we had a lot of just pure, stupid, great fun on that tour.
And like every time I've talked to someone about that tour, that's everything I've heard about it, was just that vibe was just pure, dumb, stupid fun, just having a blast with it. And this is also something that added to it. Well, because I went down to Welcome to Rockville this year with a couple of friends. And while we were driving down there, because two of the guys I went with, like, they're as big of music fans I am. They're going with, she's huge on TikTok as well, big music fan, so she helped us get to Rockville. But on the way down there, all of a sudden we were driving, getting into Georgia, and my friend's like, dude, we got to stop at Bucky's. And he's like, we need Bucky's attire. So we all go in there, we all get Bucky's shit, literally because of Bucky's Day from you guys. And then our whole plan was, we're going to end up wearing this shit, like, because we knew the Northlane tour was coming, like, we're going to end up wearing this shit on that tour. And now we're just like, well, shit, now we're going to wear it a different day then. Like, we're all set. Like, we're all staring. I know they're going to the Bad Omen show that's in Bloomington, Illinois. So if all of a sudden you see people in like Bucky's gear or like a Bucky's inflatable thing that comes out of nowhere, just know those guys ended up making it
with you.
Yeah,
they're with the boy.
Oh God, yeah, it's hysterical. But I still remember that like the show that I saw you guys on was it was a show in Belvedere, Illinois. So it was like just outside.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah, I remember going in there, and all of a sudden, I got there maybe a minute before you guys got on stage because I was struggling that whole entire day just to get anywhere. I'd been like on 4 hours of sleep for like 3 straight days, so I was struggling. Yeah, I get there, and all of a sudden, you get going, and there's like 3 people that are trying to mosh. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw down this because that's what I like to do. I became friends with all those guys, like good friends, because of that show, and I still remember. Like, we were the only 4 that were going at the beginning, but by the end of it, you played Song About James, and you had the whole entire crowd split, and everyone was into it. Like, you literally took a bunch of people that probably didn't know anything about Avoid, so all of a sudden, just like, everyone was engaged into the show, and by the time you went off, everyone's just like, if this is what's going to be for the first band on the tour package, and we still got 3 to go. How the fuck are we going to survive with this kind of energy all night long?
Oh, that's really cool, man. I'm just like, you're telling me these things, and now I'm like reliving those memories in my head too. And it's always so funny because it's like every venue's so different, and there's some that are similar, but there's little differences to every venue. And I remember that like Bloomington, Illinois is a weird spot, man. And I remember there was like this hype beast store like 2 doors down from the venue, and all of us and they had like, because we all love like nice clothes and streetwear and expensive dumb shit that we probably shouldn't buy, but we do anyway. And they had like just like all of this like crazy fucking Supreme, Yeezy, super exclusive Jordans, like, and I was just like, in Bloomington, Illinois, of all spots, like there's this store here. Insane. And there was like a Planet Fitness like right across the street. So we like, and we a lot of the time, I mean, most smaller touring bands shower at Planet Fitness, and it was funny to just like, I mean, there's close Planet Fitnesses, but I don't remember a lot of them being right next to the venue, and so that was just funny. Like I remember little things about days like that for some reason.
Well, now you're on the Bad Omens run and you're in Bloomington, Illinois. You're gonna be like, oh shit, there's the store. Oh shit, there's Planet Fitness. All right, we're set, ready to go.
Oh man, hilarious.
Oh my god, it's just even
funny. Was
it
or Belvedere, Illinois?
Yeah, Belvedere. But like Bloomington, Illinois, I know you guys are going there for the.
We're going to Bloomington, yes.
So I know.
Never been to Bloomington.
What was that?
Said I've never been to Bloomington.
Okay,
I don't know what to expect.
Just probably expect, you guys just to basically take over that show and have Bad Omens be like, how the fuck are we gonna have to like go on after these guys?
Hey, you said it.
Hey, it might happen, because that's literally what Tyler had said too, because he's like, after watching Avoid play one time, he's like, I gotta go after these guys for the rest of the fucking tour. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then there's also the show that you guys play at the Palladium on that tour where you guys cross paths with Invent Animate, Alpha Wolf, Polaris, and like Moss to Flames. I'm just like, that
God. Shit was wild. And we opened that shit. So we played very first of the day. So we played at like 4 p.m. And I didn't know what to expect. I knew the show was going to be huge, but when you're opening a show like that, and not even in a bed, you just don't know how full the room is going to be. Like it's going to be great, but it's like, obviously the room's going to be great by the time Fit for a King goes on, but like there's 6 hours between now and when Fit for a King goes on. So you never know. And then even from the, like, before we, like, the line was wrapped around the venue and like down the street super far, and then started to go around the corner again. And I was like, oh, it's one of these shows. Crazy. And there was an hour between doors and the show starting. So the doors were at like 3, and then we play at 4. And the whole day I was like, because I can like kind of just work with it in the moment. But if I like see if a crowd is either good or bad, but if I like know about it too much in advance, which is why I sometimes hate headlining. But if I know the crowd is going to be like kind of bad or kind of good, I just start thinking about it too much. If it's good, then I have certain expectations, and then I get bummed if everyone doesn't like do the thing. And then if it's small, I'm just like, how is this going to go? Are they going to like us? I just start thinking about too much shit, where it's like, if I just run out there and have to figure it out the second the show starts, it's easier for me because I don't have any preconceived notions to the show, and I can kind of just live, because I don't give a fuck. Like at my core, I really don't give a shit. Small, big, I just love playing, and I'll play whatever show there is. But if I give myself the opportunity to think about it too much, my brain just starts the gears just start spinning, and I'm just like, so I prefer to not know what's going on as far as that goes. So I didn't look. I obviously saw the line outside, but I didn't know how inside looked. And I remember just running on, and I was like, oh, I remember I was walking before, and Tommy from Silent Planet walks up to me and goes, hey man, it's looking pretty good out there. I was like, yeah, sick, cool. And he was like, you should go take a look, man. Like, that's pretty nice. And I was like, I don't want to look. I don't want to think about it too much. And he was like, okay. But just so you know, it's looking pretty good out there. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. And then I remember running onto that stage, and it was just like, I mean, and the response to us running out on stage was like, and the best thing about that tour is because when we were opening, we don't have to set up in front of the crowd, so all of our shit's just ready to go. So we have our TM Blake just hit play on the set, and then we can walk out like we're the headliner. Like we don't have to like go in and tune our guitars or do all that's already done. So we just get to run out on stage and start going. And that was really cool because like as we're running, it's just like a massive eruption of cheers. And it was just it felt really cool being from the playing side of things. Like it felt really special to be a part of that show. And then the reaction we got to playing at 4:00 was just like bonkers, like fucking mosh pits, crowd surfing. I'm crowd surfing. There's already pool floaties out in that shit. And I'm like, bro, it's 4 p.m. I don't know if I can make it to fit set. You guys gonna be good? But yeah, it was really cool.
I mean, if you get a set like that, or if you get just a tour package like that, just a show like that with all those bands in there, like if I'm a fan of there, I'm like, I'm treating it like a fucking festival. I'm like, you know what? This is what I came for. I'm not stepping out. You
come with a fucking power bar and some Gatorade, maybe a Pedialyte. You're like set to do this.
Like I'm set to do this. So by the time like if I was at that show, by the time like Fit would go on, or by the time Polaris would go on, I would be in the pit just like pretty much beat up. Just like all of a sudden you start hearing like Fit come on, and it's just like, alrighty, we're doing this. And then like by the time I'd get home from that show, if I went there, it'd be just like I'd probably like get out of the car, have to walk upstairs, and just like I'm like shuffling along because I can hardly move. Just like, fuck, this hurts. Fuck, it was worth it. Yep.
Oh yeah, no, those shows are the best. And I think what was really cool, like a day, like just a memory that sticks out to me, is I mean, obviously, like we started this band 10 years ago, and like a lot of those bands are bands that I grew up listening to or wanting to play with or hoping we would ever get the chance to get their attention. And at that show, I remember like looking over to the side of the stage for a second, and there was and then I saw a video afterwards too to like confirm it, but there was at least one member from every band playing that day, at least one, if not multiple, watching our set. And that like almost meant as much to me as the crowd being big and being into it. Like I was like, because I mean, I'm the same, and it just kind of happens, especially when like you're doing really long tours. Like sometimes week 3 of a tour, it's like, you know, I'm a little tired today. I'm not going to go watch the band tonight because I didn't get any sleep last night. I've been living in a van for, you know, there's a lot of reasons as to why you don't go watch a band, and it's all valid. Like I get it. Like I don't expect anyone to watch our band, especially another band on tour. Like it's a lot of shit that goes on tour. So it really meant a lot that everyone like took the time, especially at 4. It's like, that's lunchtime. That's like the time where it would be the easiest time, where the opener, everyone could go get their dinner and go get their things done they need to get before they get settled in for the night. And instead, yeah, like I said, at least one person was watching our set from every band. And that was really special and like meant more to me than I think I've ever been able to express. Like that was just like, fuck yeah. Like wherever it is, like there's enough talk going on about our band that everyone wanted to see what was up with it. And that's really cool. And then Chris from like Moss to Flames, like had told me that he'd been like, not only a fan of the band, but he'd been listening to the band for like a few years. And that was just like really cool. Cause I was like, bro, like we opened for like Moss to Flames when I was 14, and that was the biggest, like, we were the local band opener. It was the biggest deal ever to me that was happening. Like that was like legend shit to me when I was like, I've made it in my local scene. I'm 14. I'm playing with like Moss to Flames. It doesn't get bigger than this. And then to have that moment fucking like 8 years later, and then to hear that like a few years ago he found us and is a fan of what we're doing, like that meant a lot. And it was just cool to, with shows like that and with getting to do these bigger tours in general, like it's been really amazing to get to meet people I never thought I'd meet, or even people that I didn't know exist, or people that I've known existed for a really long time. And like, it's just amazing. Like I've gotten to meet some of my biggest idols, and I've gotten to make some brand new best friends that I would have never thought I would make, and meeting people in different countries and different cities and different everything. It's like, it's pretty fucking wild, man. Like it's really cool.
Just taking a look and just, you know, auditing that whole entire story, the biggest thing that I picked up from that was when you were on stage and you had a member of each band watching you while the crowd at 4 p.m. was so fucking into it. All that basically stands out to me is that you have hit it so well with the crowd, but also you have gained the respect not only of your peers, but also the people that you looked up to while you were growing up. So if you've got so many different positive things going for you as a band, and just seeing how that's all being rolled into, you guys are going to, if it didn't get canceled, you guys are going to be on the Northlane tour. You guys are going to be going out with Bad Omens on their first like little headlining run, which is insane, especially how big Bad Omens has been getting. Then there's another tour with Silent Planet once again, who literally, when I talked to Garrett, he couldn't talk anything bad about you guys. He's like, I fucking love those guys. They're hysterical. They're so much fun to be around. And then the plot in you as well. It's just like, my God. The positivity around a Void is so intense that it's infectious. Like, you want to go and be a part of it. You want to go to that show. You want to go to that venue because, hell, even when the tour got dropped, I had people message me like, dude, we got to go to this. We got to go. So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting my fucking ticket as soon as I can. They go on sale. I'm like, alrighty, credit card out. This is going to be one of those times where I'm like, I am very, very happy to pay this money.
Oh, man, I appreciate that for real. And it's really cool to hear that is starting to become the perception of this band. And all we ever wanted to do was like rock and like spread a good message and like, cause I mean, all of us struggle and I feel like everyone struggles in different ways, even the ones that say that they don't, you know what I mean? We all have our struggles and I really want a Void and what we're doing to be a part of your life that doesn't bring, and I kind of said that earlier in the podcast too, but like, that's really like the goal. And the older I get and the more it's like, that's really like, I think about that shit. And then like, you hear people like talk about like, cause I like the shows mean everything to me. I mean, this is what gives me life. This is my fucking purpose. It was what I feel in my heart. And like, I mean, I can't like, I'm playing shows for obviously the fans, but that shit's for me too. Like I need to do that for me to feel complete. And so like to hear other people be like, yo, that show meant a lot to me. Or like your song is like doing something for me. It's like, that's really fucking cool and bigger than I could have ever imagined. And that's the goal too. It's like, whether a Void gets no bigger than we are now, it's like, we've made an impact on someone's lives and a positive one, I'd like to think. And so that's like really special. And not everyone necessarily gets to do that. Maybe at the scale of being in a band can do. And so it's cool that we're able to do that, even at the little scale that we are now. And I hope we can take it bigger. And to even elaborate on that more and tell another fun story about the Northlane cancellation and all that, because with the Northlane cancellation, we booked our own tour. Literally, we started booking that tour the day we found out Northlane canceled. Like, it was just like, fuck, what are we gonna do? I mean, and I also, no disrespect to Northlane, this is completely out of their hands, and the visa process, especially post-COVID, is absolutely horrible. And you're seeing it happen. You just saw it happen with architects too, even in a different country. Like, I mean, it's clearly not like a Northlane. It's like a lot of bands are running into these issues for a handful of different reasons. And it's just kind of a bummer. So we were never like upset at anyone, but we were upset that the tour canceled. Again, not at anyone, but it's upsetting to have a tour and we had confirmed Northlane, like that was the first tour, even before the Fit tour we confirmed Northlane first. Like that was,
oh wow,
I want to say like maybe December of 2020. No, I would say it's before that. It was probably it was in 2020. It was like fall of 2020.
Holy shit!
That Northlane tour, and it was supposed to be the summer of 2021. And then it got pushed back. Like that tour had gotten rebooked like 6 times, and that had been like, but it had always been on the books, and so it was like we'd been planning for that tour for 2 years, and then it was like 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave for it. It's like pull the plug. That was definitely like that was a little tough. And it felt like a blow. And so we used that energy and that feeling to just book our own tour. Because we really wanted to tour. So we had the merch order in, we had the fucking time off work. We were ready to go. So like, and from the beginnings of the band, like I learned how to book tours in high school and shit like that. And that was where we came from. And so you pull out the old Rolodex and you hit up some people that you may not have talked to in a couple years. And hey, remember those shows we used to fucking throw? Let's do another one, motherfucker. Let's go old school. You still got a connection to that skate shop? Can we throw a show in there? Let's fucking go. Hey, is that bar open? Can we fucking play there? Let's fucking go. And we just threw together like a crazy ass DIY tour in just a few days. And I think we were able to announce that tour by what would have been day one of the Northlane tour.
Yeah, because it came out really quickly with that little West Coast run that you did. That would have been during the Northlane tour. Like,
yeah,
it was
so
really
we started
quick
booking it. Yeah, like I said, like that day that we got the text at Northlane, because we also found out the day everyone else found out. That happened really fast, even behind the scenes. So we were like, got to start on this now. And so we started. Yeah, like, I think that tour came together in 10 days, which is insane. Because the Northlane canceled 2 weeks before and we had it ready to go. And then we were like, okay, let's announce this on Monday. And that Monday, or maybe I forget exactly all the day, but we had it announced the day that that tour was supposed to start. And so that was really cool. And then it started just a few days after. And it was a really successful tour for the time. I mean, we only had 2 weeks to promote it. Like, we fucking were just out there, and it was doing, I mean, almost 100 people, if not over 100 people, were showing up every night for 2 weeks notice. And we didn't put any money into advertising for that tour. That tour was social media posts and word of mouth. That was it. And the fact that it was able to draw as many people as it did from just purely, again, social media and word of mouth. Like, there was no ads. It's Paul.
Hey, Paul.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. We're having fun story time over here, so come and join us.
Love it.
We're we're reliving the fun of the Northlane shit.
Ah, yes. Well, luckily we're packing up the trailer and getting ready to go. So
hey,
feels
we're going out to us. We're going day one's sold out, so that already feels great.
Oh, fuck yeah, day one's already sold out. I've got a feeling like all those days are going to end up getting close to selling out or selling out, especially given you and Bad Omens on the same run.
Well, it's great, and it's really for us. It's just 4 shows with Bad Omens, and then we're hopping off in between because they're doing like festivals around it. So there's 2 out of the 4 shows are already sold out, and then we're doing 2 shows with Dayseeker in between, and then doing another show with Silent Planet, and then we're going to do a festival with like a bunch of rappers and shit. So that's going to be really tight. And then we go home, and then we're home for like the month of October. And then we're back out to rock again for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you guys are going to be busy as all hell, but that whole entire Northlane thing and just kind of how these other ones have come together, it just speaks completely to just, what we start out with this whole entire podcast, with the whole entire Jim Rome thing and the National Anthem with, okay, something happens, and with the whole entire Northlane thing, the thing that the fans really liked about it was, like, when it got canceled, they didn't pull any punches. They didn't just, like, oh, it was out of our control type thing. No, they literally told you straight up what had happened from the fans' standpoint.
They explained that in such great detail, and you can't really fault them for that. I mean, they told you exactly what happened. Like, that is like, and it's like, fuck, that's just a shot situation. What are you gonna do? It's like, and so, yeah, again, no fault to them, but it was really great to be able to pull a tour out of our ass and have it be successful. And now we're getting geared up to, and it was also really fun to get back in touch with our DIY roots, because we played a venue called Program Skate and Sound in Fullerton, California. We haven't played there in 7 years. We played there in 2015 when we were still under the name of Void the Void on our very first tour ever that we did in Luke's mom's minivan. And it was really crazy to go back there 7 years later. Obviously, I mean, we were just talking about what's happened in the last year. Talk about what's happened in 7 years.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. And so it was, I don't know the next time we're going to get the opportunity to do that, if ever. So I'm really grateful we got to,
And one other thing, too, is just the fact that you had, 100, 150 people showing up at night with 2 weeks notice and no outside promotion outside of social media and word of mouth. That just shows, again, the connectivity that you guys have as a band to so many of these fans in a social media landscape, online landscape, but also just the positive energy that you guys bring, because I had a podcast recently. I can't remember what band it was with. But we were talking about how just when it comes to like a local scene or like a live scene, how like a younger generation is kind of disconnected from that, mostly because of how much prominence the world of social media has. And going to a show might not just be the place you want to go to because just not don't want aren't that big in that kind of interaction. But the fact that you guys, word of mouth are able to bring all these different people out to these shows in the span of 2 fucking weeks, I mean, that's just drawing positivity there.
I was really floored by it because I like to a fault maybe sometimes like I'm like, fuck, my friends are in town tonight. Damn, that's a 20-minute drive. I'm gonna have to go find street parking. I'm gonna have to fucking do this. I'm gonna have to get gas. I can easily talk myself out of going to a show. And so I'm there. I'm never like mad at anyone if they didn't make the Avoid show. Like I get it. Like there's a lot of different reasons as to why you can't make a show, and I'm never gonna fucking fault you for it. But the fact that, I really do feel like that's a testament to what we're doing, because in just a couple weeks, people chose to get that time off work or in their free time or however it was. It's like they chose to spend their evening with us, and they did that quickly. And that's really special shit. Like, it's really cool. And it's really not something that we take lightly. You know what I mean? Like making these connections and starting to build like this little bit of a community that we're building is really, really, really cool and mind-blowing to us, but it's definitely not something we take lightly whatsoever,
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest key with that is not only is a community of fans, but just the community of artists that are getting behind you guys as well and just talking about you. Not only the ones you've toured with, but the ones that I just, mentioned you guys' name just because, of course, I'm talking all these other bands.
Yeah.
Stories come up, and like something with you guys just pops in my head is like, this totally relates. And bands that have been like on the same festival lineup as you has been like, because you guys played Welcome to Rockville last year, right? And you got to drive on Daytona National Speedway.
Yeah,
you lucky bastard. I got to do that for like 200 yards this year myself, and I'm like, this is so cool.
Isn't it the craziest shit?
Oh, I was loving every second. But I remember talking to a band, and I was like, yeah, so like you guys played Welcome to Rockville. We talked about what they did, and they're like, does any band stand out there? Like, so we were found out about this band Avoid, and we kind of had to go and watch them, and they're like, we have no idea how we can even match that energy in our live set. Like, that's like an inspiration to them, just how insane your guys' live set was with the energy, how the crowd connected with it, and then seeing all the other crazy stuff on social media too, and hearing all these other stories, the pool floaties, the crowd surfing on those, playing Fortnite on the back screen while you guys are playing, and then you going and just like going ape shit on a fucking bowling alley during the middle of a breakdown. I'm like, God damn, this is just like positive, fun energy. You got to get into this, man.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really what it is. Like, that's all we want to do. We want it to be fun. We want it to be light. We want it to be entertaining. Because that's the other thing is we really do care about the show. It's like, it's a show. It's called a show. Like, we're going to give you a fucking show. Well, I want to give you your money's worth. You're paying your hard-earned money on this ticket. Like, the least I can do is give you the show, right? Like, we love the show, and that's always going to be, I think, my favorite part of this. It's why I got into this in the first place. It's why I fell in love with playing music and pursuing music, is it's putting on a show, and I really love putting on a show.
And the other thing when it comes to putting on a show with you guys, in something that is sometimes harder for some other bands, but for you guys, just because of the energy, it comes really naturally, is when you guys are on stage, the time I saw you guys, nothing else matters. Like, everyone was just being able to get lost in that moment of being in the present, enjoying the show, and just not caring about, I mean, of course we care about the bands that are going on after because we want to see them as well, but we weren't like, oh, we're going to have to get through this to see the next band. We have to get through this to see the headliner. No, it's like, we are so into this and enjoying this that no other problem in the world matters right now, because Avoid is on stage and this is fun as all hell. And I think that's a major reason why all of a sudden, when the Plot and You tour got announced, all of a sudden I'm getting messages left and right from people like, dude, are you going to this show? Are you going to the Chicago date? Are you going to the Milwaukee date? My friends from Minnesota are like, are you coming up for the St. Paul date? I'm just like, guys, I've only got like, I'm only one person. I can only be one place at like one set time. Like, I'm making a show, but it's going to be the Milwaukee one, but I might make Chicago and I might go up to, St. Paul that following day. I might do it. I don't fucking know. I haven't made the decision yet, but if I'm going to, I know I'm going to have a good time because you guys are going to be up on stage and all of a sudden it's just going to be fun as all hell. I don't know what's going to happen. Hell, you guys could come out one night all of a sudden in Minneapolis wearing Bucky's gear once again. I'm just going to be like, yeah!
Oh man, well, bro, let me know when you can make a show. I mean, we'll fucking flip you a t-shirt or whatever we can do, man. Like, I appreciate you always having us on it and all the love you. I mean, I see it all the time, and the fact that, like I said, I am so beyond grateful for this community we're building, and we couldn't do it without the community. You know what I mean? We're just five dudes, and without the community, we're just five dudes in a basement. Like this is the kind of shit that makes people like hear about us and like see how hopefully fun we are for everyone else. And so yeah, man, like thank you for always having me on and always like gassing us up and shit, bro.
I'll say, here's another perfect example of this. When I got the email from the PR firm you guys are working with, it was like, hey, I was talking about a different band. They're like, yeah, this one, they're on tour right now, so we'll reconnect after they're done with the tour. But if you would you like to potentially interview Benny from Avoid? And this whole entire line was like, this is gonna be like one of the most fun interviews you'd ever have. And my response was just like, oh my God. I cannot believe this just came through. The first time I had him on was absolutely hysterical. I've always wanted to have him back on, and it's just like, now you're going to give me the opportunity? Yes, 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 a million times yes, I want to do this.
Dude, I'm seriously down to come on whenever, bro. Like, I love doing this shit, and I fucking get along with you well, so I'm happy to sit down and do this whenever.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the best things too, and I'm going to relate it back to the music as well with you guys, of course, with Cult Mentality coming out in November, on November 4th, and the most recent single when we're talking about this, which is Whatever. Just that mentality of just you guys doing yourselves, following your vision, following your energy, and not really just like taking that full outside influence from a bunch of other people like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. You're like, nah, fuck, they're going to do what we want. And seeing how it's worked out for you and just like the energy that was put into that song as well, everything just went through full circle. It's like, I can't get enough of this fucking song, man. I can't get enough of it.
Dude, thank you. Like, that's cool. And I'm really stoked that I keep forgetting that like I can talk about Cult Mentality now specifically and like the name and how it's all out there, because that is like crazy that's here and we're about to share it. And Cult Mentality, and you already nailed it on the head. It's exactly that. Cult Mentality is what it takes to commit yourself to the grind of whatever it is that you're doing. But Cult Mentality, and I feel like it has not been taken this way, which is nice, because I didn't want it to be like the CVLT cult, like I didn't want it to be like edgy cult. Like I want it like purely, it's like Cult Mentality is actually just a mindset to have to pursue whatever it is that you're pursuing, whether it's music, whether it's podcasting, whether it's being a PR person, whether it's being a booking agent, whether it's being a fucking banker, be the best banker you need to be, whether it's landscaping, whether it's being a CEO, whatever it is. Like, to be the best at your craft, you have to dedicate yourself to it to an unreal level. And that's what I feel like Cult Mentality describes so well, is it's just that passion and that heart to do whatever the fuck you want to do,
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you watch that video too, and it just, the energy that's there, all the little subtle nuances that you guys like poke fun at, all the little videos that you poke fun at. Because I still remember right when the first pre-chorus hits, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, is he going all like Shadow Moses on this thing? That's when I first fucking lost. I'm just like, I can't believe you guys actually pulled that off in that way. And of course, at the end of the video, you're doing the exact same thing, but in front of a green screen. You're just like, have that like weird smirk, just like looking at it like, yeah, we did that. And I just, like, okay, this video is awesome. Like, I cannot get enough of this shit right now. This is too perfect.
Thank you, man. That was really like, the funnest video to shoot. And the hard thing was making sure that it came across as lighthearted. Like, that was like my biggest fear more than anything, is because it's also like, I mean, yeah, and it's like, I am making a real statement. Like, the scene is really fucking boring and it could be spiced up a little bit, but we don't hate like metalcore, and we don't hate scene bands. And I mean, we were all into it. I used to dress very similar to how I was in that video and stuff like that. It's like, it's no disrespect. You know what I mean? It's purely supposed to be fun and poking fun, and just like, isn't it silly that you guys like, whether you're a hardcore band, whether you're a fucking emo band, whether you're just a standard rock band, it's like everyone's been at the stage of where you're eating shit on floors, sleeping in fucking parking lots, doing the hopefully begging for some publication to post about your record so that more eyes can see it. And it's like the fact that there's so much ego and so much other little things that come from the scene, even internally, like band to band and all that. It's like, it's kind of silly because we're all doing the same thing, even if it's not the exact same thing. It's like, it is. It's just packaged different, or it just sounds a little different, but we're essentially all doing the same thing. And I think that we could all understand that a little bit more. And like, as the community in whole, like we can help each other out a little bit more and like not look as it so much like a competition, but like it's a really big world and it's a really big industry. And there's a lot of people out there. And I would say that most people like music. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, there's not many people that don't like music. If there is, I kind of want to meet and be like, okay, why? I'm curious, honestly.
Right? At least to a degree, right? At least to a degree, most people like music. You may not be obsessed, but you at least like to tap your toe to a beat. Which means that the music world and the world in general and being an artist, it's like the possibilities are endless for how you could hit for a fan base, and you never know who your fan base is going to be, and it's probably not who you initially set out for it to be. So you kind of just got to strap up and be ready for the ride and let it happen and be embraceful to whatever it is, because it's like everyone's musical journey is different, and I think that comparing, and I don't think it's a bad thing to compare in a strategic way. Like, see what other bands are doing. See, all right, that band got good numbers from this, that band got bad numbers. Like pay attention. Like, I'm not just saying fucking like fuck everyone to do your own research and make sure you know what's cool and what's relevant. But like, yeah, like we are all doing the same thing, and it doesn't need to be a competition all the time, because one band blowing up doesn't mean another band can't blow up. Like, there is room for all of us to exist, and you can carve out your own little thing as long as you work hard enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like especially music, it's, rising tide will raise all. So if all of a sudden some band absolutely blows up massively, now a lot of bands that have a sound that people can resonate with that's alongside the band that blew up, now people are going to also be looking for other music, and they're going to, latch onto that, and they're going to want to listen to some more of that stuff. I mean, take a look at what happened with emo in like 2005, 2006. All of a sudden people were getting into that, and all these other bands were starting to get some more notoriety, some more press. Even the ones that only had like one or two hits maybe that really hit with people, you go to like emo nights across the country and they're still playing all those fucking songs.
Well, look at like the great Turnstile debacle of 2021. Like, that's right. Everyone was like, most people I would say were very receptive to Turnstile, and I love that band. I mean, I think they are incredible, but there was a lot of people that were like, what is this band? And this band isn't hardcore anymore, and it's not true to the hardcore scene, and whatever that gatekeeper mentality is. But it's like, bro, Turnstile playing on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and then some kid that's never heard of hardcore before but happened to see that and likes that video, and then they're recommended a Hate 5-6 video from This Is Hardcore. And then they, you know what I mean? And then the rabbit hole starts. And then you can go from liking a TV Turnstile video into starting to get really into these underground things and stuff like that. It's like everyone needs a gateway and a pathway to get into this scene. And if Turnstile is going to be that band for the next couple of years, especially for like the hardcore scene and like that sort of like punky alternative scene, it's like, I think we should be nothing but embracing bands like that and embracing in bands that are still alternative and true to their sound, but maybe have added some sort of marketability or radio-esque side of it. Like, we should embrace that, because that's how we keep our scene alive for the next 100 fucking years. You know what I mean? It's like, how is a 14-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid supposed to find out about the scene right now if when a band like Turnstile starts playing on TV and starts getting X Games or what? I mean, I don't know if they've got, but you know what I mean? They start getting these huge opportunities to be in front of like people that would have never thought about them before, especially like impressionable young people. And like, that's how I found my favorite bands and Warped Tour scene and stuff like that. I was young and I found a fucking YouTube segment of what, you know what I mean? But we should embrace bands blowing up, especially bands from our scene. Like, That's what we're all trying to do. Like, I never have understood why when a band starts getting to a certain size, it's like suddenly uncool to like them. Like, people did that with Knocked Loose for a second too. Like, when
Yeah.
Knocked Loose started getting really, really big, it was like, oh, Knocked Loose sold out, or Knocked Loose isn't that cool. And I will say, this isn't everyone. And I would say the older I get and the more the times you get weirder and people get older as well, it's like, I'd say people are getting more and more and more open-minded about genre meshing, and it's okay to like floofy thing and also really heavy thing, and it doesn't make you a bitch if you listen to like Pierce the Veil and Harm's Way, and you know what I mean. It's like there's no problem with that. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that there is still an element of that exists, and I would love to crush that with every fiber of my being.
Oh, absolutely. Because you take a look at, like, you brought up Turnstile as the perfect example of that. And there's other examples I can think of too. It's when bands from the scene, even if, they're starting to get a little bit more of that radio marketability, or they're appearing on some more pop culture things, kids are going to be able to take a look at that, get into it from that, because now it has more of this social currency online at that point. And then they start going down the rabbit hole because they want to see what else is there. Turnstile, per example. Another per example, Bring Me the Horizon with their collaboration with Ed Sheeran. Ice Nine Kills with how much you're doing with the horror community. Just everyone's getting into that based off of that. Go over to Europe. I gotta bring it up because I'm wearing their shirt right now. Electric Callboy, just with mixing fun, club 80s kind of music, kind of beats, pop music with fucking metalcore. I mean, come on. It's so much fun to listen to.
Something that is so original, so refreshing. So that's what I was saying. It's not a dig to every, like there are bands out there that are doing it, but it's more of like, when it comes back to whatever, just kind of like a blanket statement. It's supposed to be funny. It's also supposed to, like, I think within good comedy, there is truth. So the truth is in there. And yeah, man, just stop taking yourself so fucking seriously and have a good time. And, it's probably going to be all right.
Oh, absolutely. And like, even speaking of two things. One, speaking back to whatever, like the intro, and all of a sudden you have the robot voice that kind of takes that intro. Like from there, it's like, even if you're listening to it or you're watching the video, especially if you're just listening to it, at that point, you're like, okay, you can have some fun with this because they threw that random robot voice thing in there. So, it's not going to be something that should be taken with like the most serious aspect of it with what they're going to be talking about. But then all of a sudden you watch the video and you guys are wearing all the scene clothes and stuff in the woods. And all of a sudden towards the end of the video, now you guys are just dressed in normal. You've got a freaking A-Rod jersey on and a racing hat. I'm like, yeah, now this looks just like Benny would on a normal day. Like, I'm not expecting anything different from this.
The A-Rod jersey's like another dig too, because I thought that would piss people off.
I was a little the thing that I was thought about was like, I know you're a huge Mariners fan.
Die hard.
So like, I'm like, an A-Rod jersey does make sense, but not the Yankees one. Like, now I'm starting to get like, could that be a dig at the same point too? I'm not sure. Like, I thought you were gonna go with like a freaking like Ichiro Suzuki jersey at least.
I usually do. I have a great Ichiro jersey that I love, but no, that was supposed to be that. I mean, I when I was like a little kid, I always liked A-Rod for some reason, and mostly because, again, I just love controversy. And when I was like playing Little League, everyone hated A-Rod, so I was like, I like that guy. Purely just because of that. And so it's like, and it's definitely like a sin to like the Yankees and also be a Mariners fan, but I've always kind of liked the Yankees. I don't have a problem with them, and we only play each other twice a year usually, so I'm always going to root for the Mariners in that situation. But if I turn on a Yankees game, like in the playoffs, I'm not going to be bummed if the Yankees win, because typically they have amazing players. Because like, that was, instead of being like, growing up, it was the heyday of the Yankees, like Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira. I saw the end of Gary Sheffield's career. You had Johnny Damon. You had
Jason Giambi in there.
Jason Giambi. Oh yeah, and then Robinson Cano's Yankee era.
Yeah, and you saw Mariano Rivera throughout the whole entire thing too, just killing it with the fucking
Mariano Rivera the whole entire time. CC Sabathia's amazing end of his career. Jorge Posada. I mean, the Yankees had such a legendary lineup when I was growing up that it's like, you couldn't not kind of like him a little bit.
So you're bringing up CC Sabathia. It hits a little right here because that half a year in 2008 when he came over to the Brewers and just fucking dominated. I was just like,
dude, that was great. That was great. I remember that. Well, then the Brewers ended up getting like a bunch of our old fucking guys. Like, you guys took I mean, Ben Gamble for a sec. You guys had
Yep.
Vogelback for a sec. You guys kind of went through like we traded you guys a bunch of people. Didn't you guys? I think you guys had Taylor Motter for a second too, who was on our team.
I think for like maybe like a couple of games or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, DePoto's just turning over players like no other.
Yeah, and now over here in Milwaukee, it's like we're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on while still in a divisional race with the Cardinals. So we'll see how that all turns out. Pitching still
our
good,
only shot's the wild card, so I just gotta hope that we stay where we're at right now.
You guys just got to keep playing well. But back to the whole entire thing with the boy. The second thing I wanted to bring up though was just with the fun energy you guys bring to the table, with the absolute just. You know, you guys are manic up on stage. You guys play Fortnite up on stage while you're playing. Like, this is fucking nuts. I'm like, is there a band that you guys could play with? Because there's not many bands that are going to be able to match that kind of energy. Is there a band that you could play with on a tour package that you guys would work so well with in terms of just fans just having a blast, having a good time? That's exactly why I wore this shirt. If you guys got a European run with Electric Callboy, I'm like, this would make so much fucking sense.
I would love the tour with Electric Callboy. I feel like we would have a really fun show together if we played with Electric Callboy. I mean, obviously Fever, like Jason is like the goat of chaotic frontmaningness. And like, he is like, I mean, you think I'm manic on stage. Fuck, look at that guy. He is just an incredible, I mean, he is, in my opinion, one of the greatest performers to ever live. Like, so I think playing some shows with Fever would be really, really fun. And that would be a band that I would be really nervous to have to play before, because like I know that everyone's there for the energy, where it's like, because like not even like I know we have good energy, so I'm pretty confident in playing most shows. It's like I feel like we can hold our own, but it's like having to play with Fever, or it's like a Chariot reunion show, or a Dillinger Escape Plan reunion show, or something like, you know what I mean? The most chaotic bands of all time. Like those are bands that I would be very nervous, but very excited to get an opportunity to play with. And I think that the energy would mesh well. But I think about like, I would love to do a tour. I mean, I was thinking about a cool tour would be like, if we figured out like fucking like Ocean Grove, Higher Power, and us. Like, I feel like those are like the three, like the Australian weird band, the UK weird band, and the American weird band. Like I think stuff like that. I think doing untraditional stuff is sick. Like, I would love to tour with also like not metalcore related tours. Like, I really want to tour with Water Parks. Like, that would be a band that I think that if we had an opportunity to do a month of shows with Water Parks in front of like their fans, like incredibly impressionable fan base that loves energy and craziness. And like, I mean, obviously we're a pretty heavy band, but we're not like the heaviest thing in the world. But to that fan base, we're like fucking death metal. You know what I mean? Like the screaming, like doing what we're doing. And so it's like, we're like in situations like that, we're like the standout crazy heavy band, where it's like, I feel like on metalcore tours or whatever. So like, you could totally be like, well, they have breakdowns. It's not my thing. And I totally respect if it's not your thing. Like, there's a lot of things that aren't my thing either, so I don't give a shit. But I do think that like, if you put us in situations with other genres of artists that had similar energy, but we could kind of be the weird odd man out heavy band, not on heavy bills, I think that would do a lot for our career.
That definitely would, especially, I mean, just think about Water Parks for a month. And the whole key is going to be the energy you guys bring on stage and the fun you bring on stage, even as the heaviest band, the outline heavy band on a type of tour package that would be for Water Parks. Because all of a sudden, you know, if you guys end up going absolutely ape crazy, having a blast on stage, and you get the video board down there and you're playing Fortnite on stage, to those fans, they're gonna go from like, do we even like this band, to like, this band is like, this is us. Like, we need this in our lives. Like, the connection there is going to be all based off the energy. And if you guys had to follow up Fever 333 or go before Fever 333, I'm thinking about it like, yeah, I've seen Jason Allen Butler perform. For 25 minutes, he went from like manic energy in a jumpsuit to manic energy in neon green, like tighty whities on stage. And the whole entire time I was questioning, those things are probably going to come up at some point, because this dude is just that fucking wild.
Right?
They didn't, but I'm like, the possibility is there, and the energy was there. And I'm like, God, at that point, I'm like, God damn it, I should have paid for pit tickets, but they were like $300. It was on the Knotfest Road show.
Yeah. I remember seeing stuff from that. Like, what an incredible band. And so all that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of bands that I really want to tour with. And again, like back to that song is really not supposed to be taken as directed at anyone. Like, if you're getting offended by it, like, hey man, figure it out. You know what I mean? Not our problem. That's not supposed to be offensive. That's funny as shit.
Yeah, because the whole entire song is just kind of like, like for you guys, this is us. We're gonna be us, and if whatever else, I mean, whatever. We're gonna have fun.
Whatever,
with it.
Exactly, bro. Just fucking whatever. We're here. You got it, didn't you?
Which is why I cannot wait to actually see this song played live, because I remember the Fit for a King tour. I think Cowabunga and Cowabunga just come out, and I'm just like, I can't wait. You guys opened up with that. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But I wish they would like go into like flashbang at some point, because that song is energetic as hell. And all of a sudden, next thing I hear, hey, how's it going? We're Void from fucking Seattle. I'm like, yes.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I definitely want our set to be 30 minutes of just energy in your face craziness.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what everyone can expect from the Little Run with Bad Omens to the 2 Dayseeker shows. So, of course, the show was Silent Planet, because, I mean, Garrett's already expecting it from what I've been told.
The boys for life.
And then the Silent Planet plot you tour. I'm just like, my God, that thing is going to be just like the tour during like the late fall tour. You're going to be like, all right, we're going into, the holiday season. We need some energy to like close out like our shows for the year. It's like, now this is the one you go to if you want to have some absolute fucking fun. So make sure you go to it, because you're not going to want to miss out and avoid playing live. Trust me on that.
Oh, fuck, bro. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you having me on, and I would literally love to do this whenever.
Oh, we'll do this once again, because of course we got Cult Mentality coming out on the 4th. I mean, hell, by the time next year rolls around, especially 2023, who knows what's going to happen? All of a sudden it'll be January.
We need to have a 2-year anniversary in January. Like,
we might need to. I mean, then we can look at how Cult Mentality ended up playing out. We can talk about all the crazy shit that happened on these other 2 tours. There's plenty of stuff we can talk about, man. Like, it's all there.
January sounds like a fantastic time.
Perfect. And I mean, I'm connected with you. We're Facebook friends, so I can just message you like, hey, Benny, you want to do this shit again?
Oh, yeah. Hit me up whenever, bro. We can totally do that.
Fuck yeah. And as we bring this podcast to conclusion, Benny, one thing I love to do is give you a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, promote whatever you want to promote at the end of the podcast. So floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, thank you, my friend. Hey, Cult Mentality out November 4th, as you guys know. A new single, whatever, is out now. Follow all the socials at Avoid Kicks Ass on all that shit. We are really just trying to do the damn thing, and we're really grateful to be here and get to rock. And we hope you guys want to rock with us. That's it, really.
Perfectly said. Now it's time for me to end this shit out with 3 things. So first things first, you want to make sure you're going to be like connected with Avoid, because Avoid kicks ass, right? So here's what you're going to do. Go to the description of the podcast and say, find Avoid online. Links for literally all of their socials. Links where you can watch these crazy YouTube videos. Links to where you can, get ready to stream Cult Mentality when it comes out. Get tickets to this Plot and You tour. And, of course, pre-order the fucking album and get some fucking merch. All of it's going to be in the description of the podcast for you guys. So go to where it says find Avoid online, because, yes, Avoid kicks ass, and you fucking know it. Now it's time for number 2. Now, the last time I spoke to you back in January 2021, I made a promise to you the first time I would see you at a show. First shot was on me. Of course, I saw you for the Fit for a King tour, and unfortunately, I didn't get to see you afterwards, so I still have to make good on this promise, right? But I'm going to edit it a little. I'm going to edit it a little bit just because of the day you guys are playing the Milwaukee show with the Plot and You, and the venue you're playing at, because in April, I got to see the Dayseeker tour come through that venue, and I'm friends with the guys that were on the opening band, which was Caskets from the UK. So after the show, I had a case of beer for them, and I went to their van, knocking the door. So I ended up sitting around on the bus, drinking with Caskets and Holy Absence for like an hour after the show. So on December 2nd, when you guys play in Milwaukee, I'm going to bring some cases of beer for you guys, because I've had you on the podcast. I've had Garrett. I've had Landon from the Plot and You. I'm looking to make it a fucking party after the show. I'm going to be like, go to my car, and all of a sudden I'm going to carry stuff to the vans and be like, hey guys, Beer Man's here. And it's like, yeah!
Oh, you'll erupt the whole parking lot.
Oh, I'm already planning on it. I know exactly how to pull this off, and I'll just probably let you know like on like the day or the day before. I'm like, hey, I got all the beer for you guys. Let's fucking party.
Hey, you're looking out, my friend. You are.
Oh, absolutely. So, Benny, as we bring this podcast to its conclusion, this is not goodbye, because we got to do another one of these.
We already planned it, bro.
We already planned it, and I'm going to be seeing you on my fucking 28th birthday. I'm going to throw down to Avoid on my fucking birthday. What could be better than that? So this can't be goodbye, my friend. This is, I'll see you later.
All right, I'll see you later, my friend.
Well, folks, that was my interview with Benny from Avoid. Once again, Cult Mentality, the new album from Avoid, comes out on November 4th. The single Whatever is out now. Go watch the video because there's so much cool shit in there from them. Just kind of poking fun at the scene to poking fun at the Shadow Moses video from Bring Me the Horizon to them just being their crazy, wacky, goofy, fun selves, man. So you're going to want to follow along with Avoid everywhere you can because their social content, I mean, it makes me smile every time I get to see some of them. There's pop up. It's always hysterical. So you're going to follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, literally anywhere. They're going to be on TikTok as well. I'm pretty sure they Twitch stream as well. So you're going to want to follow them on all that stuff. YouTube, you're going to want to follow them so you can catch all the crazy, videos that are on there. You're going to want to, check out what they got online. Check out their merch. You're going to want to buy some merch from Avoid because Avoid kicks ass. You're going to want to be able to buy Cult Mentality, download Cult Mentality, stream Cult Mentality when it releases on November 4th. So go straight to the podcast where it says Find Avoid online and make sure you follow along with everything because all the labels and links are there. You got to do is click and then follow the directive and you're good to go. So make sure you do that. Please also make sure you're following along with the Chord Progression Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for your viewing pleasure. We put all the crazy podcast moments on there, talk about a lot of fun stuff, and we just, have a good time on there. We usually go live every single Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, so make sure you're following along with us on Instagram for that. Please subscribe to the podcast on YouTube to watch the podcast, or you can listen in on Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and a lot of other places that you can find us because Podbean kind of puts us a lot of different places that is kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. And if you are subscribed, if you're just subscribing right now, a gigantic thank you to you. Thank you for supporting the podcasting, for continuing to support the podcast. And we love having you guys here. This is a fucking awesome. This is what I love to do. I mean, go to shows, talk to musicians, talk like this, present great stuff to you guys. I don't want to stop. That's my favorite thing. If you're like, fuck yeah, I love the boy, just don't want to subscribe to the podcast, first off, please reconsider because Benny will come back in early 2023. You better believe it. If not, though, you're like, yeah, I'm still good without, subscribing to the podcast. First off, thank you for stopping by anyway. You're always welcome back here. And if you want to subscribe another time, just hit that button. It's always there. I also want to thank support for this podcast. Again, first off, Manscaped, 10% off and free shipping. Use code CPP at manscaped.com at checkout. And remember, we are sponsoring When We Were Hungry Music Festival happening in Las Vegas, October 20th and 21st, 2022. Tickets on sale now at whenwewerehungryfestival.com. Link description of the podcast, so go get those before they sell. Thank you, Benny, man. This was fucking awesome. Cannot wait to see you perform live with the Palladium, with Silent Planet. Go and kick some motherfucking ass. On that note, that's going to be for you guys. Thank you for watching. Listen to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah!